What's up, everyone? Welcome to Clear Talk. So in this video, we are going to be talking about Mr. Pete Hegseth. The man gave some words this morning that is quite as if, every time he speaks, he doesn't say something that was crazy. Very, very concerning, in my opinion, in today's briefing, along with an interesting quote that was used as a prayer in a prayer service yesterday. Articles of impeachment and a continuation in talk around Trump and the Pope. I feel like all of this has something of interest in this conversation. So thank you very much for joining me here. If you are new to ClearTalk, I almost said something else. ClearTalk, welcome to the channel. If you would like to check out more videos from the channel, please do so. Consider subscribing, like, share, comment, all that good stuff to get more videos in front of more people. Free for you, helps out the channel tremendously. If you'd like to check out videos from my other channels, you have JMD there, Play, Puzzling. If you like what you see there, consider subscribing to those as well. Free for you, helps out those channels tremendously. Patreon, if you want to go a little bit further, $2 a month. You can support any of the channels that you would like to help grow those channels, help grow Patreon, help grow JMD Nation, and contribute to that growth how you would like. Any contribution and or support, it's really the same thing, but whatever. It's very much appreciated, and I thank you very, very much. And if you're returning, you're freaking amazing. You are amazing. Welcome back, and keep coming back because you are what makes JMD Nation. Okay, so we have recently had articles of impeachment on Hegseth actually brought up. Granted, they're probably not going to go anywhere because Republicans hold the majority of the House, so it's not going to really matter. But it's a start in the pressing of, like, I think it was made in the way to try to put pressure on the administration, to put pressure on Hegseth as the lead of the Pentagon to maybe chill himself out a little bit, knowing that there's a very good chance that come November, this is going to happen. And if he continues down this crazy rhetoric that he's been using, that it's only going to be worse for him because there'll be more and more evidence. But anyways, so we will go over that as briefly as I can in a little bit. But first off, we have this morning where he gives about a 10-minute speech, sort of, at a press briefing. And I just want us to look over this, and I'm probably going to comment on some stuff on it. It's crazy that the head of the Pentagon and the way that he speaks about this whole war, and then the interjection of religion, of Christianity, of Jesus specifically, and the way he uses it is extremely interesting and concerning, in my opinion. So let's swap over here and let's listen. I'm sorry. Hold on. This is, I tell you, it acts up every time, almost. Not every time, but all right. Should be playing now.
Briefing on the latest on all aspects of Operation Epic Fury. So after the chairman concludes, we'll ask Admiral Cooper to share a quick update on the ground truth from his trip to the region as he continues to implement an ironclad blockade and ensures that our forces are maximally postured to restart combat operations should this new Iranian regime choose poorly and not agree to a deal. And that is what we urge this morning, that this new Iranian regime choose wisely, which is where we'll start with a message to Iran's military leadership, to the KH leadership and IRGC leadership. We're watching you. Our capabilities are not the same, our military and yours. Remember, this is not a fair fight. And we know what military assets you are moving and where you are moving them to. While you are digging out, which is exactly what you're doing, digging out of bombed out and devastated facilities, we are only getting stronger. You are digging out your remaining launchers and missiles with no ability to replace them. You have no defense industry, no ability to replenish your offensive or defensive capabilities. You only have what you have. You know that, and we know that. You can move things around, but you can't actually rebuild. You can dig out for now, but you can't reconstitute. But we can. We are reloading with more power than ever before, and better intelligence, even more importantly, better intelligence than ever before, as you expose yourself with your movement to our watchful eye. We are locked and loaded on your critical dual-use infrastructure, on your remaining power generation, and on your energy industry. We'd rather not have to do it, but we're ready to go at the command of our president. And
so not only are we like so much more prepared, able to regroup, more intelligent, but also, what did he say again there?
on your energy industry.
Ready to commit war crimes. It's so flippant how they just threaten to destroy infrastructure, energy, everything around, there's literally war crimes. So flippantly, like it doesn't matter. Like, yeah, it's what we do. It's what we do now. It's what everybody does now. You just blow shit the fuck up, man. And the arrogancy of this guy is so like, as we all know, we have completely underestimated Iran this entire time, but yet he acts like, oh, we're just so much better, we're so much smarter. You are nothing. You're nobody. This is not a fair fight.
We'd rather not have to do it, but we're ready to go at the command of our president and at the push of a button. This blockade, which the
what button? What button's he talking about? What button is he talking about? Not that button, right? Not really? No. Shit. Fuck. What button are they talking about?
chairman will detail this morning is the polite way that this can go. Your energy is not moving and will not move, and we can do this all day. But it's not destroyed yet. Your energy industry is not destroyed yet. Yeah. You like to say publicly, Iran, that you control the Strait of Hormuz, but you don't have a navy or real domain awareness. You can't control anything. To be clear, threatening to shoot missiles and drones at ships, commercial ships that are lawfully transiting international waters, that is not control. That's piracy.
Sure seems like control. Isn't that control? Do you? I think it's Pete. I think that's fucking control, bro. It looks like control. I'm just saying, man. You say words, but like they don't make sense. They don't make sense, bro. But keep talking. Keep talking.
That's terrorism. The United States Navy controls the traffic going in and out of the strait because we have real assets and real capabilities. And we're doing this blockade, performing it with less than 10% of America's naval power. The math is clear. We're using 10% of the world's most powerful navy, and you have 0% of your navy. That's real control. And we have a long track record of dealing with pirates and terrorists.
So we have control because we have assets in the water. able to block. And so that's control. That's a blockade. That's not piracy or terrorism. But they don't have control because they don't have a naval fleet. But that's piratism. Piracy. Piratism? What the fuck? Piracy. But pirates have boats. I thought. Maybe I'm mistaken. And terrorism. So them doing a blockade that's not actually a blockade because they're not stopping anything, although everything is stopped by them except for what they want to go through, which, again, Pete, sounds like control. I'm just like... But yet we also do the exact same fucking thing. We put up a blockade. We're preventing ships from going in and out, only to allow what we want to in and out, which, I mean, but because we are actually doing it on boats and they are doing it by, partially land, but like also probably boats. I don't know. I mean, that's piracy and terrorism, but what we're doing is an operation, therefore it can't be piracy or terrorism. Them holding up the economy is bad. Us holding up the economy is good. Pete, that math that you say it's not mathing, bro. It's not mathing, bro.
But there is an alternative. As our negotiators have said, you, Iran, can choose a prosperous future, a golden bridge. And we hope that you do for the people of Iran. In the meantime, and for as long as it takes...
Golden... I bet Trump told him to say that. A golden bridge.
We will maintain this blockade, successful blockade. But if Iran chooses poorly, then they will have a blockade and bombs dropping on infrastructure, power, and energy. And at the same time, Treasury Secretary...
That's war crimes, Pete. That's war crimes. You want to be impeached? Do you want to go to jail?
Scott Bessent and our friends over at Treasury are launching Operation Economic Fury as well, maximizing economic pressure across the entirety of the government. To Iran, choose wisely. The world watched, and so did you, as the U.S. military moved seamlessly from major combat operations to a world-class blockade. We can make that transition again, very quickly, and even more powerfully than ever. At the direction of President Trump, the War Department will ensure that Iran never has a nuclear weapon, never. We'd prefer to do it the nice way, through a deal led by our great vice president and negotiating team, or we can do it the hard way.
Who failed? Who failed, Pete? They failed. I don't know if you got the memo, but they failed. Not very good at negotiating. Just saying.
We urge this new regime to choose wisely. Speaking of choosing wisely,
it's the same regime, Pete. It's the same fucking regime. These people.
A note to the press corps, to the American media.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. What do you got to talk to the press about, Pete?
As I just can't help but notice the endless stream of garbage, the relentlessly negative coverage you cannot resist peddling, despite the historic and important success of this effort and the success of our troops. Sometimes it's hard to figure out what side some of you are actually on. It's incredibly unpatriotic. This same press corps, not this exact same press corps, but at least an older press corps, bent over backwards during the Biden administration to explain away, the disastrous and disgraceful Afghanistan withdrawal. You called it the greatest airlift in American history.
Because under the circumstances, Pete, it kind of was. It also ended an era that the American people really had grown tired of. Yes, some servicemen died. As a matter of fact, fewer than what your operations have done so far. So, I mean, I'd say in comparison to you, it was successful. So, because we ended a war where you started a war. So, the math, it's. So I guess when the media rewards a president, speaks highly of a president actually ending a war, getting out of somewhere that the American people have been asking to be removed from for over a decade, that's disastrous. And the press corps was bad. Ooh, you were so bad. Why did you say that was a good thing? Why aren't you telling us that because we started a war? Why aren't you talking good about us starting a war? Bad press. Bad press.
It's almost like you're cheering only for one side. This past...
Yeah, the anti-war side. The, let's not get into a fucking fight for no fucking reason side. Let's not create complete economic crisis in World War III or global economy breakdown kind of side. Yeah, that's what. It's not that difficult, Pete. It's not that fucking difficult, bro. It's not that difficult. Okay, you're swinging your dick, but it's not doing anything. It's not hitting anything because it's not as big as you think. Apparently, I don't know what to say about that, bro.
Sunday, I was sitting in church with my family, and
all right, here's where the craziness starts. Pay attention.
Minister preached from the book of Mark, the 3rd chapter. And in the passage, Jesus entered a synagogue and healed a man with a withered hand. The Pharisees came to watch. And as the scripture reads, they came to see whether Jesus would heal him, or he would heal him on the Sabbath, so that they might accuse him. You see, the Pharisees, the so-called and self-appointed elites of their time, they were there to witness, to write everything down, to report. But their hearts were hardened. Even though they witnessed a literal miracle, it didn't matter. They were only there to explain away the goodness in pursuit of their agenda. As the passage ends, the Pharisees went out and immediately held counsel against him, how to destroy him. I sat there in church and I thought, our press are just like these Pharisees. Not all of you, but the legacy Trump-hating press. Your politically motivated animus for President Trump nearly completely blinds you from the brilliance of our American warriors. The Pharisees scrutinized every good act in order to find a violation, only looking for the negative. The hardened hearts of our press are calibrated only to impugn. I would ask you to open your eyes to the goodness, the historic success of our troops, the courage of this president, and this historic moment for a deal that could end the Iranian nuclear threat, the incredible battlefield victory laid before your eyes, the not one, but 2 incredible rescue missions, miracles, you might say, or a locked-in blockade. Or how about historic recruiting numbers? Yesterday,
this man, Pete, bro, did you just say that the press are the Pharisees? And are you implicating? It sounds like you're implicating that you, Trump, the administration, our warriors is Jesus, and you're doing miracles. That this entire excursion, as Trump calls it is a miracle, and the press just can't see the miracles that y'all are all performing. So therefore they are the Pharisees and bad people because they just want to scrutinize your miracles and your goodness. I can't even like Jesus didn't take people to war. He spoke about peace. He spoke about peace. And while he was speaking about peace, he wasn't also continuing to drop bombs on people. He wasn't killing people peacefully. Because that's not a thing, Pete. You can't kill people peacefully. That's an oxymoron. Much like you were probably an moron. You got that right. You got okay. Wow. Invoking religious texts in a story to parallel with this administration and the operations that they are enacting on the world stage to this Bible story as if they are Jesus in this story, and the media press that is showing opposition and disagreement with this and speaking ill of this is the Pharisees. So they are the bad people against the good people. I mean, you can't make this shit up, man. This is crazy, absolutely crazy. This is who is over the Pentagon. This is the man over the Pentagon.
Today, we announced that the Air Force and the Space Force met new higher goals in FY26, 5 months in advance of the end of the fiscal year, five months ahead of time. The Marine Corps and the Army will soon do the same. 2-3 years ago, we couldn't meet lower recruiting numbers, not even close. Where are the reports on that? Where's the coverage of the new spirit in the country, the new spirit in the ranks, the surge of Americans wanting to join the greatest military in the world?
Just because you're bringing on a whole bunch of like Proud Boy motherfuckers into the Army that's wanting to just go and die and kill people or whatever the case does not mean that that's successful. It doesn't mean that, you know, you have some moral like army or something now.
Nothing from the fake news. We sense a pattern. You see, on the battlefield, these are demonstrations of uniquely American capabilities, strength and resolve. It's all around you each and every day. But in the press, you only seek the negative, earning each and every day the fake news label. But the American people, with goodness in their hearts, see past the fair.
As y'all are earning the corruption and warmongering label and, you know, the Epstein class label. And also, that was the other thing, in acting that the media is the elite class and the administration is like the unelite and, you know, the poor, the goodness, the working class, some sort of shit. This elite motherfucker here, what the hell is he talking like, bro?
In our press, they see the goodness. You watching, you see the goodness. They see the success. They see the reality. And they don't demand perfection, and perfection is not possible on any battlefield. But they see the incredible feats that our troops accomplish every single day. So to those troops, stay focused, block out the noise, stay aggressive. You are showing the world what it means to be an American warrior. You are making this building and the American people proud. We pray for you every day, and we have your back in every way.
All right. So, yeah, stay aggressive. and you know, in our lethality that he always tries to say, we are trying to invoke. And then even in this press conference, General Raisin Kane even goes on to state and like brag about how the people running the ships and shit, are like 18 and 19-year-olds. Like it's so amazing. We have 18 and 19-year-olds doing this. While you're just sitting here in a press conference, talking about it, shielded from all of that. Like, bro, go fuck yourself, dude. Anyways, okay, so yeah, that was the insanity. But then I want to also show this, though, okay? This is the same guy that the day before, okay, in a holy, in a you're gonna think this is a joke. I promise you're gonna think this is a joke. Defensive Secretary Hegseth meant to invoke Holy Scripture in discussing the rescue mission of an American fighter pilot stranded in Iran. But he actually quotes Quentin Tarantino. I'm not even joking. In a prayer delivered by Hegseth during a Pentagon worship service on Wednesday, okay, yesterday, he read a fake Bible verse from Tarantino's 1994 Pulp Fiction. It was the altered version of Ezekiel 25:17 that is righteously delivered by Samuel L. Jackson's character in the movie before he shoots a man to death. Hegseth told the ensemble that the prayer was recited by the Sandy 1 combat search and rescue mission in Iran. They called it the Caesar 25:17, which I think is, and this is a quote from him, I think is meant to reflect Ezekiel 25:17. And then he goes on, calling everyone to pray with him, and states, the path of the downed aviator is beset on all sides by the iniquities of the selfish and the tyranny of evil men. Blessed is he who is the name of camaraderie and duty, shepherds the lost through the valley of the darkness, for he is truly his brother's keeper and the finder of lost children. And I will strike down upon thee with great vengeance and furious anger those who attempt to capture and destroy my brother, and you will know my call sign is Sandy 1 when I lay my vengeance upon thee. Amen. Which was first spotted by the Religion Politics blog, A Public Witness, that he read nearly word for word the lines that Samuel L. Jackson's character Jules Winfield, Hitman, stated in Pulp Fiction. Literally word for word with only a few changes. The path of the righteous man instead of aviator is beset to all sides of the iniquities and selfishness of the tyranny of evil men. Blessed is he who is in the name of charity and goodwill, where he stated camaraderie and duty. Shepherds the weak through the valley of the darkness, as his true brother keeper lost children, exactly the same. And I will strike down upon thee vengeance, anger, exactly the same, except for who attempt to poison and destroy my brothers, where he states capture and destroy. And you will know my name is the Lord, which is the actual take from Ezekiel 25:17. And you will know my name is the Lord, where I lay my vengeance upon thee, where he was stating you will know my call sign is Sandy 1. Is almost an exact replica of Pulp Fiction. The actual Ezekiel 25 states, "And I will execute great vengeance upon thee with furious rebukes, and they shall know that I am Lord, when I shall lay my vengeance upon thee." um, Even Pulp Fiction wasn't original. The Pulp Fiction actually was lifted from a 1973 Japanese martial arts movie called Bodyguard Akiba, or Kaiba, whatever, including the erroneous attribution to Ezekiel, where the Lord was swapped with Chiba the bodyguard. This is the man. This is what he's using a fake Bible verse from a movie in 1994, Pulp Fiction, as some sort of prayer discussing a rescue mission in Iran. That's Pete Hegseth. That's Pete Hegseth. Or is, oh my goodness. The House is invoking, has invoked, like I said, articles of impeachment. Unveiled article of impeachment against Hegseth on Wednesday, making serious allegations against his handling of the war in Iran and the leadership more broadly. The resolution, led by Yasmin Asari of Arizona, lists 6 impeachment articles: unauthorized war against Iran and reckless endangerment of U.S. service members, violations of the law of armed conflict and targeting of civilians, negligence and reckless handling of sensitive military information, obstruction of congressional oversight, abuse of power, and politicization of the armed forces, conduct bringing disrepute upon the U.S. and its arms forces. The impeachment push almost certainly won't go anywhere, of course, as we stated, because the majority Republicans have. The 7-page impeachment resolution claims Hegseth engaged in high crimes and misdemeanors. The constitutional basis of impeachment: he also has demonstrated a wildly disregard for the Constitution, abusing the power of his office and acting in a manner grossly incompatible with the rule of law. The resolution also accuses him of using the military force in a manner inconsistent with the law of armed conflict, pointing to civilian casualties, including the February 24th bombing of the girls' school in Iran that killed 168 people. A preliminary U.S. assessment suggested that the United States was likely responsible for the attack, but did not intentionally target the school and may have hit it in error. Irregardless, it still happened, and you must take responsibility for that. The impeachment resolutions argue that Hegseth is engaged in conduct that raises serious concerns of violation of the Geneva Convention, especially after citing the comments that he gave about no quarter, no mercy for our enemies, which is very much something that you do not do. Basically saying that there is no mercy, there is no, that you will all die. Even if you give up arms and relinquish and, wave your white flag, there's no mercy for you. You will be killed. And that's something that the United States, along with the broader world, does not accept or hasn't accepted up until this guy. The resolution is co-sponsored by a number of Democrats: Sarah McBride, Lauren Underwood, Al Green, Steve Cohen, Jasmine Crockett, Nikema Williams, Dina Titus, Dave Min, Sri Thenador, Melanie Stansberry, Mike Quigley, Brittany Peterson. Ansari teased the plan last week amid Trump's increased threats of targeting Iran infrastructure if the deal was not reached. And the rhetoric has crossed every line, claiming Hegseth is complicit. So it's calling for the 25th Amendment and an introduction of articles to impeach Hegseth. So, there you go. It's because of actions like that. It's because of rhetoric that he has spoken. The just insanity in how he speaks about the quote unquote adversary versus us. How we show no mercy. You know, we will obliterate you. This is not an even war. Like all these kinds of things. And then, of course, the invoking of the religious aspects over and over and over again. And the unseriousness, even in that, when he turns around and quotes a fake Bible verse from a comedy satire movie. It's just crazy. It's crazy. And all this on top of the fact of we have, you know, the military heads, officers and stuff, all the reports coming in of them talking about it, you know, being the war, being a religious war, being you know, Armageddon, all this shit. We've had all those reports come in, and officers and stuff concerned about that type of rhetoric, and being told to just, you know, accept it and go into it. That we're being, you know, protected and backed by God. I mean, it's insane. It's crazy. The rhetoric that we get from Israel and Netanyahu, and, you know, that religious argument there. It's and the blatant call for criminality, for war crimes, obliterating infrastructure, obliterating, you know, goods and services and livelihood resources for a group of people. Trump literally stating obliterating a whole civilization. These types of things, okay, it's taken this administration so far and beyond any other administration, it's mind-blowing at this point. And yet still people support these actions. Still people support this leadership to this day and defend it. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. And of course they're targeting the media, because the media has more or less, in many ways, pushed back. Either completely turned away from it, or at least are giving pushback. Even those that are supposed to be, like, you know, positive for them are like, fuck, how far do we have to go? Like, how much have we got to defend this? This is crazy. And that will, the way it looks is that will continue to be a problem, and continue to, you know, continuation of you either having to move the goalpost in order to defend this administration, or you literally crossing the line, or stating that you know, you will no longer cross the line, rather. And then amongst all that, we have the fighting between Trump and the Pope. Which we find out here that the Trump administration canceled $11 million to Catholic charities, to Catholic charities contract. Okay? There was a $11 million contract with the Catholic charities of the Archdiocese of Miami, which shelters and cares for migrant children entering the United States alone. Okay, this is a charity that has been in operation for like 60 years that helps to shelter and protect and take care of migrant children that enter the United States alone, whether through, legally or, through their parents. And because of the war, between the war on immigration and this was done towards the end of March. It shows here the federal government contacted the charity about the cancellation in late March. This is something that has been running for 60 years. And suddenly the Department of Health and Human Services is contacting saying, yeah, we're shutting this down. $11 million contract helping to fund Catholic charities that shelter and care for children. Okay. And they claim that they're canceling because of the falling number of migrant children entering the country because, we've shut this shit down. And we got to cut costs because we got to pay for this war. So yeah. And for those who are saying, well, this has nothing to do with the Pope. The Pope has been arguing against this war since January. So there's a very good chance that those cuts just coincidentally after criticism from the Pope that started back in January when this first started. And all these talks first started about, starting on Iran. But we do have a latest update from Mr. Pope Leo that I want to share. And it goes a little something like this.
The world is being ravaged by a handful of tyrants, yet is held together by a multitude of supportive brothers and sisters. Jesus told us, "Blessed are the peacemakers." But woe to those who manipulate religion in the very name of God for their own military, economic, or political gain, dragging that which is sacred into darkness and filth. The masters of war pretend not to know that it takes only a moment to destroy. Yet often, a lifetime is often not enough to rebuild. They turn a blind eye to the fact that billions of dollars are spent on killing, on devastation, yet the resources needed for healing, education, and restoration are nowhere to be found.
Wow. Absolute wow. What a striking condemnation of this administration. And that's exactly what it, without even stating it, without even stating specifically about this administration. The world is being ravaged by a handful of tyrants, yet is held together by a multitude of supported brothers and sisters. Jesus told us, "Blessed are the peacemakers." But woe to those who manipulate religion in the very name of God for their own military, economic, or political I would say, political gain, dragging that which is sacred into the darkness of filth. Fucking go, Leo. Holy. Bro. The masters of war pretend not to know that it takes only a moment to destroy, yet often a lifetime is often not enough to rebuild. I mean, hello? Even 20 years and we couldn't rebuild in Afghanistan. They turn a blind eye to the fact that billions of dollars are spent on killing, like that 1.5 that they're asking for the Pentagon budget, and on devastation. Yet, the resources needed for healing, education, and restoration are nowhere to be found. That is crazy. That is amazing. Again, way to go, bro. Leo, you were cooking this, guys. I mean, hey, I have to give it to this dude. You know, he is he's doing the damn thing, and it just it just adds to the crazy, like the things this administration is doing, and in the name of God, in the name of religion, in the name of protection of people, yet also threatening that protection, threatening complete demise. I mean, it is chaos. It is chaos, and they're literally trying to take everybody down with them. Everybody down with them. They're violent, immoral, uncompassionate whatsoever. They have hatred for certain people, and do anything to either eliminate them from the face of the earth or punish them in the most violent ways that they can. These are hateful, violent people that are invoking hateful and violent people. Yeah, the impeachment stuff is not going to do anything. There are even articles of the 25th being placed and worked up on Trump. Again, something that's going to be a process that's very unlikely to actually be able to work, but nevertheless, it's at least Congress is acting like they're going to do something, or acting in a way of trying to implement something, even though clearly it will more or less fall on, just a kind of just bare representation, or bare, actions, minimalist actions. And again, I think it's to provoke the fact that try to provoke a restraint in the administration, but unfortunately, history has shown when these guys are pushed, they just push back harder. So I feel like it's really going to just cause them to ramp up their actions even stronger. And I'm kind of concerned and afraid of what that would be, because we already are on the brink of just complete and utter isolation from the world. Israel even more so, but the U.S. is being taken down that too. This is nothing is going to be the same after this. Our relationships with everybody are so broken at this point, and such condemnation is being placed on the United States at this point. It's going to take years, decades, maybe even, to even remotely try to mend those relationships and those partnerships and that, trust. So, but let me know what you think. Until next time, peace. ClearTalk. I'm out.